I took a test a few days ago. Unfortunately, I scored only 50%. There are 2,600 views on this channel right now. I still haven't responded to my girlfriend's 9 missed calls. You felt a different emotion for each of these numbers. For a low score, you perhaps felt sad. For the number of views, you might have felt happy. And for the girlfriend, you might have felt something depending on your experience. If your experience has been positive, you would have felt cute. Or if your experience has been negative, you probably would have felt a little creeped out. Now, these numbers that I gave you are simple numbers. Let me give you a slightly more complicated number. There are 3,600,000 plus currently active cases of coronavirus. That is 3,600,000 people more than that have coronavirus right now, COVID-19. Now think of one word to describe what you feel. What do you feel when you think of this statistic? And I've asked this question to a number of people and I have the responses. It's not pretty. People are terrified, scared, horrifying, insane, scary. So many emotions that we feel when we see such a big number. Now, let's learn something from Dr. Hans Rosling, author of the book Factfulness, and a man who was great at putting things into perspective. According to his teachings, let us take a closer look at this number. Out of these 3,600,000 cases, 3,620,000, that is 99% of the cases, are in mild condition. 54,700, now 800 people, are in a serious or critical condition. Yes, even 54,700, 800 people is still a very big number of people who are critically ill because of the coronavirus. But out of all of the currently infected people, currently active cases in the world, 3,620,000, that is 99% out of the 3,674,000 are mild cases. When we think of a pandemic, we tend to immediately imagine people dying everywhere. When we think of a pandemic, because of what we have seen in the movies, we immediately imagine something like out of a zombie movie, where everybody, everywhere you look, is dying. Yes, this is a serious threat. It is a very easy to spread virus, but it is an important thing to understand that out of the active cases that we have in the world, 99% are in mild condition. 1% are serious. That number is 54,000 plus. And it is a big number, and unfortunately we might lose some of these people. We see a lot of numbers. This one constant counter on news channels that we see is that the coronavirus cases around the world have now crossed 8,765,000. That is a big number, but out of this big number, 4,627,000 or more than half have already recovered from the virus. The number of active cases is less than the total number of people who have recovered from the virus. In a mathematical sense, we don't need to be extremely scared. We can't be over concerned. We have to be alert. We have to be wearing our masks. We have to be washing our hands every few hours. We can't be relaxed, but we don't have to be paranoid. We realize this thanks to Factfulness by Hans Rosling. We realized that our perspective was narrow and that we needed more information. And this perspective is extremely important to us for a second reason of understanding why numbers matter. This is where we come to what Dr. Daniel Kahneman tells us in his book, Thinking Fast and Slow. The entire book is filled with amazing facts of how we think and how external factors influence us. Now, it depends on what you did before you watched this video. If you had read all of the insane stats all of the insane news, a lot of the paranoia. If you had been exposed to that before watching this video, you probably would have picked a much worse word to describe your emotion when you heard that number. If you had a nice time in the morning, if you had a good workout, if you spoke to someone you love, you probably would have picked a much more positive word to describe your feelings. Forget the thing that you did. Forget so many deep external factors. The simple act of putting a pen in your mouth can influence how you feel. Because when you put a pen in your mouth like this, you are using the same muscles you use when you smile. And just because those muscles are engaged, you will feel slightly more positive. Now, when I say you will feel slightly more positive, I don't mean that instead of feeling terrified, you'll feel happy. No, I'm saying that instead of feeling terrified, you might feel cautious. Now, because of Hans Rosling and Daniel Kahneman, we realized two things. Firstly, that when it comes to numbers, the perspective is extremely important. If we are looking at just one big number, we are going to get confused and scared and paranoid. And this tsunami of big numbers is not over. There are going to be many more big numbers about employment statistics, about essential items, about transport, about accounts, our bank accounts and investments. So many things. We are going to be inundated with numbers. There is going to be a bigger tsunami of numbers now in the remaining part of the year. And as such, it is very important for us to understand the emotions that these numbers are creating. Do leave a comment of what you think are some of the biggest shocking numbers that you've come across in current times. Leave a like and share this video so that we can reach out to more people and make them aware of the numbers and the emotions that they are creating. Thank you.